All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to be here in front of the camera again, not just because I want to be in front of the camera and talk, but because the content of this masterclass series is so influential. It's changed my life completely, drastically, 100 million degrees in the other direction. I know that's not a real number, but I'm just trying to express the depth of feeling, the depths of conviction that I feel around this issue of becoming a stronger leader. And it's not just about becoming a stronger leader; it's becoming a stronger version, a better and more powerful, and I think maybe the manifest version of yourself that you were meant to be. Actually, bringing that into reality and launching into the future, into something that you dreamed of, that you really you always wanted, that was there, but you never brought it to life. And so we're working through this masterclass of becoming a strong leader. And I think these things are absolutely necessary. This is how I did it. And as I go through the content today, I hope you hear this kind of woven through message of, this is how I've done it to become the multi-million dollar CEO of multiple companies that I've become today. Started with absolutely nothing, broken and in a shambled mess. Like, everything around me was completely broken. Life was very bad. Relationships were stressed to the very nth. And through the things that I'm talking about in this master series, we rebuilt, we reconnected, we restructured life, we casted a vision for the future, we charged forwards. And not only did we accomplish many of those vision characteristics and bring them back into our life, but we actually surpassed those incredible goals that we created in the very beginning. And I have goal sheets from many years ago that I look back on. I opened one up this morning as I was thinking about some of the content that I was going through this morning, and it brought tears to my eyes because I remember that time in my life, and I remembered how broken and how sad and how distraught we were as a family. I was personally, and then our family was. And I remember what took us out of that and launched us forward into the future. And so some of that you're going to hear about in this masterclass today, and in this entire series. It's pieces and parts of that in each lesson. Lessons about how to lift yourself up out of that mess, and then convert yourself into the leader that you should be. So becoming a strong leader, going from manager to leader, that's what this masterclass series is. That's the theme of this whole series. But I just wanted to share some of those things with you because they're on my heart, because this stuff really does work. It really is impactful, and it does change your life if you apply it. And hopefully I break it down in this masterclass in a way that you can take it and use it, because I'm a person who likes to get the big picture and then just like go a million miles an hour down to tactical, and then get after the actual work of getting it to come to manifest itself in my life, become that thing in my life, so that things can move forwards. When things were broke, if you're in a place where things are broken in your life, like, you are in the exact right place today, because I'm working through helping you get out of that mess. And so all of us, that's a realization that I had when I was going through that mess, is that all of us in this human experience, we have that brokenness in some area of our life at some given period of time. And during any 10-year period of life, some major, very tragic and very painful and very suffering, a thing that causes great suffering in our life is going to occur. I'm not trying to be the raining on a rainy day, but I'm just being real. Like, that's been my experience in my life. And throughout that, if we don't have something giving us an entrepreneur, giving us a direction, a North Star, and a plan on how to get there, we get anxious, we get depressed, we get stuck. And that's what these master classes are all about. That's what I hope that we help people work through as we listen to this masterclass today. So, becoming a strong leader, part 6. What gets you here? Does anybody know? Does anybody know the follow-up phrase? What got you here won't get you there. What got you to this point in life, right now, this very place? What got you here won't get you there. And if you want to go there, we've got to change something. Something has to be different. Something has to change. The definition of insanity for 12-stepper programs is if you want to do the exact same thing and expect a different result, and you're okay with that, you're kind of borderline insane. And so if that's your condition right now, and you think that you don't have to change absolutely anything, but you're going to get a different result regardless, I got news for you. You're wrong. You got to change stuff, and sometimes, and maybe, and most of the time, drastically change in order to move the needle. So the difference, so if you're online with us right now and you're listening in, I would like you to drop in the chat what you think the difference between dreamers and visionaries are. What is the major difference between dreamers and visionaries? What is that? If you want to go ahead and drop it in the chat, give me a heads up as to what you think that is as I continue through this. I'm going to give you about one more minute to enter that information in the chat, and then I'm going to answer that. So managers becoming leaders get better at vision. Managers who are transitioning, making that transition over. Everybody sucks at it at first. Like, nobody's a born visionary. Nobody's a born being good at visionary. And unfortunately, in our lives, most of us have had very poor models of visionarying our lives. Our parents, maybe their lives sucked, and our grandparents, maybe it's not like the life we'd actually wanted, and we didn't see people in our lives actually having any vision and casting a vision for the future and actually doing anything that meaningful with their life. And we just think that somehow we will be visionary, and you're not going to be visionary and not do anything great or greater than you're currently doing with your life if you don't make that decision, and it starts today. All right, I promised you I'd give you a little bit of time before I answered the question, but what is the difference between dreamers and visionaries? It's one word. That word is action. Visionaries take action. Dreamers, they dream, they talk about a thing, they talk about something they're going to do in the future. They talk and talk until the sun goes down and beyond. But visionaries, they actually take action. And that's what I want to talk. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're moving from the vision, which we talked about last week, working through the content, working through answering those questions and around what we want in our lives, what we truly, really want. For Christ's sake, answer the question. And then move into that vision action stage. And so this is the transition between, so we've had the dream, we got the vision down on paper last masterclass. Now we're going through mission statement, and then we're going to go right into goals. And I almost skipped this, guys, when I was creating the content for this masterclass. I almost skipped. I was like, well, maybe people don't really care about, I don't know, maybe people will just not be interested in hearing about the mission statement. It's kind of like an old terminology. It was a big thing back in the 1980s. And I don't know if maybe somebody's talked about it too much, but then I was like, you know what? You really can't accomplish your goals without writing this out, without having this piece of the puzzle in place. I actually have mine very much accessible to me. I framed mine. They're on my wall in my office. And I actually review this, and it is my North Star for our business, for my personal life, and for our family. And so as we talk about this today, I just want to give you that piece of information, that the difference between dreamers and visionaries is one word, and that is action. Visionaries take action and agency over their life and actually bring that vision to reality. That's why we look upon those dreamers. We're like, oh my gosh, that guy's just a dreamer. He doesn't do anything. He just dreams all day long. and then you look at those very rare and very respected people in your life, or maybe people you've read about. You're like, oh my gosh, that guy, that's freaking visionary, legendary. Some people call him, right? All right. So to recap, all right, we're gonna pick up the energy a little bit. So stick with me, okay? Because this is something I'm very passionate about. So stick with me, okay? Did you answer the question? These are from the last masterclass. This is just a really quick recap. Did you answer these questions? Question 1, if you could do anything, what would you do? 2, if you could be anything you want to be, what would you be? And 3, if you could have anything that you wanted, what the heck would you have? Well, I put heck in there. But anyways, what would you have? And the 4th and very important question, because those 3 are associated with the positive thing that you want to go to, that you're dreaming about, maybe that your vision, or that you've dreamt about for the past 20 years, and now you want to roll into, you actually want to build it into your life. But then the 4th is on the negative emotion. Those first 3 are on the positive emotion, where we're going like, these things, that would be great. I would love to have these actual things in my life. And these are actually realistic, possibly to be true, if I would just get myself in alignment with that. And then the other is, what kind of hell will life be if I go 10 more years and that is not even one step closer to reality in my life? Introducing that negative emotion, getting it under the fire of our seat of our pants, and propulsing us forwards into this incredible vision that we're driving into. The truth is, what is the truth? Okay, Henry Ford said it. He said, whether you believe you can, or whether you believe you can't, you are correct, sir. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are 100% correct. And I love Buzz Lightyear when he jumped off the bed, bounced on the ball, swirled around the ceiling fan, and landed back on the bed. And he looked at Woody and he said, can! Courtesy of Buzz Lightyear. If you want to do it, if you think you can or you think you can't, you can. Right? Courtesy of Buzz Lightyear. Stop limiting yourself. That's like the whole masterclass in the last class, all in one single slide. Stop limiting yourself. You can, but you just got to get going. This old blue-haired lady in the back of the auditorium, she said, well, am I too old to start working on this? Not if you're sucking wind, you're not too old to start on it. Get after it. Start moving. Let's get some progress. You have to make a vision, no matter what age of your life you are, and start about the process of doing. That's clearly defining what is in the future and then going about the business of doing it. Now, that's masterclass. We were doing that masterclass last week. If you want to, go back and watch that one, and then you can watch this one again, and it'll help you see more about what this one is about. Real quick, let me check to make sure if there's any comments. Okay, is there a comment? This is so important. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Via checked in to let us know how important this content was. I think it's important too. Via, thank you very much for sending us that message today. All right, so let's go on to the next slide. Whoops, where is it? Oh, got to click on it. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, my name is Jason Ellinger. I am the owner, CEO of Taika Translations TVP team. We do language services and digital services all around the world. And I started a YouTube channel last year where I'm starting to bring content just like this to the world to share everything that I've learned over the past 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur. And the past 10 years of actually building and scaling the current companies that I work in today. After this, I actually will go into a meeting with a team member, or I'll look over a proposal, or I will actually go do something that is in the process of building, or maybe make a marketing blurb, or work on a script, or work on some kind of a contract. That's actually happening. I'm actually in the process of that. I'm not just somebody who stands in front of a camera and talk. When I'm not in front of a camera and talking, I'm actually working on my business. And working above my business, on my business. It's sometimes in my business if I have to, but most of the time I'm working on my business because we've lifted it to the level that we're operating at a very incredible place that I didn't know I could get to. But I set a path, I charted a vision, and I charted a path. I set a vision, I charted a path, and here we are today. So if you want to grow with me together, if you want to grow yourself and grow your business, from an entrepreneur that's been in business for 20 plus years, doing different types of entrepreneurial thing, the same entrepreneurial thing for the past 10 plus years, then stick with me, like our channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below so that we can grow this stuff together. And I'm so excited about what we've got to talk about today because it literally changed my life. All right, like, subscribe, drop a comment, let's go. All right, to accomplish anything in life, in any area of your life, you do two things. Only two things, not overcomplicated. Listen, you need a direction or goal, and you need a process or a plan. Many of us listen to this, guys. Get it, get this point. If you don't get any other point very set into your soul, I want you to get this point, and that is, so many people are in the process plan mode all the time. They spend their entire freaking lives doing stuff, never moving towards the legendary, that visionary thing that they have been created to accomplish. I believe, I'm a Christian. I believe God created us. That's why I say created. Okay. So if you are in that section, that's you, you're in the right masterclass today. If you want to change that, you're in the right masterclass, because we're going to change that today. There's two things that you need. You need a direction or goal, and you need a process or a plan. And you need to get out of the mode of being with zero direction or goal all the time. You're working, and not getting anywhere. You can work all of your life to get to the very top of your ladder and find out that the ladder was leaning on the wrong building. And you're like, holy cow, I never wanted to be here, but I spent a lifetime. And now it's kind of late. But even still, you can start revisioning your life, even if you're old. It's time for you and me to stop and do these things. You have to stop. You have to stop the crazy phrase, the rat race of going and going and going, just so that you don't have to stop and say what you want. And the tragedy is, so many people want so much more, and they have so much more potential. And they never stop just to decide what the heck it is they actually want in this life. For the Christians out there, God created you for a majestic purpose and gave you a powerful calling. Answer that question. It's written on your heart. For the rest of the world out there, you don't believe in God. I hope one day you do believe in God. But it's still, you have a grand and very powerful purpose that you simply need to decide to talk to God and yourself about and find out, so that you can decide what the heck direction you should go. And then you create the plan, and then you go until you've accomplished it. And it's an exhilarating experience. You're going to go way up on these mountain peaks, and you're going to have the lowest lows that you've ever felt in your entire life. But because you have a vision and you know exactly why you're going up these mountains and down in these valleys, you know exactly why you're able to stand the test of time, to hit the mark, to actually get where you want to go. There's the years ago when I was in a particular low moment in my life. I'd completely broken. My career fell apart. My relationships completely fallen apart, partly because my fault, partly because their fault, partly because I was not being wise and making the right steps in the right direction. And it was at that time where I sat down and I said, the vision for my life will not be this. The vision for my life is far greater. The essence that I will create throughout my lifetime is far greater. And I sat down and talked to my spouse, and we talked this over, and we're like, this is not the reality that we are going to have to let be a reality for us anymore. We are going to make an incredible future for the Ellinger family. My name is Jason Ellinger, Ellinger family. So we're going to make an incredible future, and it's going to mean way more than this shambles that we are in today. And so we charted a path together. We created the plan, and then we go, and we keep going. My wife right now, she's charging on a project. She's slamming it to get that deadline done. Other team members on our team, we brought other people into our life and into that vision, and they're slamming it. They're sacrificing right now today for that vision, and they're doing an awesome job. We've had incredible victories in the past, and we're creating right now an incredible victory in and through our company. Our team members are sacrificing for that, and it's noble and powerful, and it means more than anything in the world to me, because there was a vision. Now throughout, we started on the plan and on the path to get there, and we brought other people in, and people are engaged and working and sacrificing and building with us, and it's an incredible thing to see and be part of. And you can create that in your life as well, just like Buzz Lightyear says, "Can" to Woody, right? Get some of that, get it, and start going. Now, next thing, what do we need? Moving from our vision, actual, into mission statement and mission characteristics, into goals. Next week is going to be on goals. All right. So since you now have an overarching vision for your life, which you should by now, because you answered the questions, you went with it. You were with us in the last masterclass, and now you're here with us again today. We're going to continue working through the process. And by the way, guys, if you have a comment or a question throughout any of this content that I'm talking about today, please drop us a question in the chat. Karina will make sure that I see that message, and we can talk. I can talk about it. I can answer the question, and I'd be very happy to do that. Please go ahead and drop it in the chat, and I will be absolutely looking forward to answering those questions along the way. Go ahead and drop it in at any time, because I will, anyways, we'll gather the question and we'll put it in a place where I'll stick it in where between the sections so that it doesn't interrupt the flow of the material. All right. 3 clarifying necessities that you must have to get that vision, put some work clothes on it, and get it to life. You can't just skip it. You don't just to go around it. You can't just lazy your way through it. You actually have to do the work. If you don't do it, you won't get it. All right, so the first thing, 3 clarifying necessities we have to drive to clarity is 1, create the mission statement from that vision that you just created from the last masterclass. 2, we have to have vision characteristics. You will write those down on a single sheet of paper with your mission statement. And 3, you have to have freaking goals. Goals, we're gonna be all over goals in the next masterclass. So stick with me. Make sure in the next masterclass, make sure you like and subscribe so you get in that next masterclass, because it is going to be a freaking bomb. All right. So why do we do all of this? Why? So many times the problem isn't that we don't want to. It's not that we don't. It's that we don't have the inspiration to, or we don't have the willpower to, or we're too lazy to. It's none of that. It's simply that we're not clear. We're not crystal freaking clear on what the heck it is that we've got to do and what the heck it is that we want. Now, that since you have your answers from the last masterclass and you're bringing those to this masterclass, our next clarifying step is mission statement and vision characteristics. Because goals is a little bit bigger of a section, I'm separating it into a whole nother section. Mission statement and vision characteristics is where we are today, and we're going to get super clear on that. All right, so let's go. How to create a mission statement. How in the world do I create a mission statement for my life? First, you got to know these things. A mission statement says this. It says who you are as a person. Actually, who you are. So many people suffer. So many people, if they would just write this singular phrase down, this one phrase, it would help them drastically in their life, because so many people walk around, they don't have no idea who they are. Who am I? What makes me human? It tells you who you are. It does also says who you are not. Like, oh my gosh, if I say who I am, is that you mean I'm being mutually exclusive? If you say who you is, there's then who you ain't. Okay, I'm bringing my southern accent into this, but if you say who you are, it means you're also not something else, and you need to acknowledge that. And that's okay. Each of us is made special. We all have our different characteristics. We all have our vibes. We all have things that we like that nobody else likes. That's fine. But we say who we are. We also say it says who we are not, and why you do what you do. All wrapped up into this. All wrapped up into a single statement. This statement says who we are not, and why the world we do what we do. And if you live each day knowing the answer to that question, you're going to be on fire in a completely different way. And when you go through struggles in your life and in your business, some of them are going to be like, I used to get like run over. I feel like I got run over by a train when I went through a trouble like that. Now it's like, I got a greater calling. We're on a mission. We're going on a direction. This is just a speed bump, for Christ's sake. Let's get going. Let's solve this thing and get on. Get on with life. Okay? So this is what a mission statement does for you. It creates clarity in your life in this way, and we're just about to go get into how to do it. All right, so step 1, list your skills, talents, and capabilities. Take a piece of paper. One piece of paper, top of it say list. You don't have to say list skills, talents, and capabilities. Just say skills, talents, and capabilities at the top, and then write it down on the piece of paper. Now remember, we have our vision from last masterclass, and now we're moving into this masterclass. If I mentioned last masterclass on the vision enough, because these things go so much hand in hand. If you haven't done what's in the last masterclass, what the problem is, you can get very overwhelmed because there's kind of a lot of steps, not a lot of steps, and none of them are hard, but you just have to do them all. And if you miss like 3 or 4 of them, it kind of makes this way, way, way more difficult. So don't miss any. Make sure you do the stuff from the last masterclass, do the stuff from this masterclass, and in the next section, we'll get to our goal section, and then we put all this stuff on freaking fire. All right, so you list your skills, talents, and capabilities on a piece of paper. All right, leading, teaching, planning, building. Maybe you've got some other electrical talents. Maybe you are good at software development. Maybe you're connecting people. Maybe you just have some kind of knack about creating electricity when you come into a room in a positive vibe, not a negative one. maybe you have some kind of a mentorship or people just come to you for advice. Those types of things that just seem natural to you. All of those things who you are, that you naturally are those things, and maybe you've learned some of those things over your lifetime, and they are very valuable to you. They mean a lot to you, and they're just simply a part of you. List those out on a piece of paper. Okay, list all of them, 1 till 10 or 1 till whatever it is, how many you've got. 5 is enough, but just make sure you list your personal skills and talents, not ones you want to attain to, the ones that you are today. Okay. Second, list all the personality traits inherent to you. This is different from skills. Okay, skills are one, personality traits is another. Creative. Maybe you're theoretical, very, very, very process driven, or maybe you're inspirational. Maybe you like to be expressive, like I am, like I like to be. Maybe you're adventurous, or maybe you're dominant, or maybe you're solemn. Or maybe you're very outgoing, maybe you're logical, or maybe you're just super process driven, or whatever it is. List the personality traits that you know to be true about yourself. If you honestly just do 1 or 2 of these exercises, you actually gain a ton of clarity on who you are as a person. It really helps you to align with what you're working on in the future. Now listen, don't list aspirations, what you want to be true about your personality, or what you think your grandmother wants you to be like, or your parents want you to be like. List what's actually inherent to you, actually you, who you are, and how it manifests itself. Not how it manifests itself in your life, just who you are about your personality. And if you have a little trouble with this, you can go talk to a friend, and you can say, and remember, it has to be a very trusted friend. I talked about this in previous master classes. When you're talking about this type of stuff, they have to be a very trusted person who actually has some genuine character and is doing something meaningful with their life. If they're that type of person, you can go down and have a conversation with them. It's like, you know what? I need to list some of the personality traits that are inherent to me, and I would like you to help me just to really open that up. What would you say defines my personality? And you can get a lot of great insight from conversations with people around you. That may be your parents. Maybe you got some freaking amazing parents, and you can have that kind of conversation with them. Maybe a close friend, maybe a brother or sister, maybe aunt or uncle. I don't know. But somebody who you can genuinely trust in your life, that has your good in mind, that genuinely says, okay, these are some of your best personality traits. These are who you are. Okay, so again, nothing aspirational. It must be true to you. That's step 2. Take a sheet of paper and write that on the next sheet. All right, step number 3, list your values, dreams, and passions. Now, some of this will come from the previous master we just went through. Your dreams and passions, like this should be woven into that stuff that we talked about. If you find this challenging, identify 2 or 3 people in your life who have been highly influential and who display that thing you want to be as a display what you want to be as a reality in your life. Those values that they display on a day-to-day basis, those actual things that they live out, that you say, man, when you look at them, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so impactful. Like that person, if I could just be like that person all the time, my life would be freaking amazing. So the things that they are is something that you deeply value, and you need to draw that out, put it on paper, so you have all these elements of this process on paper in front of you, so that you can work through drawing out what the mission statement and the vision characteristics are. Okay, so the rule for this is, okay, don't take an actor on television. Don't take a movie star of some kind. Don't take a president in a different country or in America. Don't take any of those people. You have to know them personally. If you don't know the person personally and you cannot verify their genuineness, their genuine characteristics, that they actually do something meaningful, live it out day to day, and the thing that they're displaying actually is them, then don't list those. But list the values, dreams, and passions referencing your vision on this piece of paper. List them out. What do you deeply value? What are the things that you really, really think are are meaningful to you? One of me is Christian faith. So being a Christian faith, God, that stuff, doctrine, Bible, that would be very important to me. So a lot of my values come from that area. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? And be that type of a person continually throughout my life. And all of those different kind of characteristics. Somebody who has a discipline in an area of life that I really value deeply. Something that a discipline for being fit and being a good steward of their self, of their body. That's something I deeply value. And I want to maybe write that down on a piece of paper. So you have to write down for you, what are some things that you deeply value? Family, a big family is very important to me. I have 8 children. My wife and I have been married for 16 years. We have 8 children, and that a big and beautiful family that is whole and that is connected, that is respectful, joyful, grateful, and loving to each other. That's very important to me. And so those are part of my values. Those are part of my dreams, also part of my passions and my values. And so they're written down. They're manifest in this mission statement, in this vision statement, in this vision characteristics for my life. And you create the same for your life. So think about those in your life. Now, listen, I'm giving you a little bit more detail on this point because sometimes it can be a little bit more challenging than the first 2. So let's go. It's like step 3B is list 1 to 3 of the most influential people in your life. Now you can list them on the same piece of paper, separate piece of paper, doesn't matter. Now list the characters or qualities that you admire most about their lives. List those out. Okay. And then answer this question after you've list those 3 people, and after 1 to 3 people, and after you've identified the character qualities that you admire most. Now list and then answer this question: how have you grown personally from being around those people? Remember, you have to know them personally. You can't just look at somebody in a historical figure or somebody who is on the big screen on YouTube or somewhere else in the world. It has to be somebody that you actually know. And now answer that question: how have you personally grown? Because remember, this is about you. You can't make your mission statement for someone else in the world or how you wish the world would be. It doesn't work like that. It won't help anyone. It has to be you. So answer the question: how have you grown personally from being around these people? All right. So once you have the answer to that question, it's going to give you a lot of clarity. When you have all of this written out, you're ready to create your first mission statement draft. Now, next piece of paper, top of the page, leaning on all the memories that you touched as you work through writing down all of these lists. Write the answer to this question: what do you want your life to accomplish? And it might be 3 or 4 sentences. That's fine. Maybe it's even longer. Maybe it's even shorter. Maybe you can summarize it even shorter. If you're a very concise person, maybe you can do it shorter. But maybe you need a few more sentences. But what do you want your life to accomplish? Leaning on all the memories you touched and all the information that you have now written down, the clarity that you have, the pieces of clarity that you have next to you on your desk, looking at that with your vision, saying, okay, what do I want my life to be about? And as you read through this, you will pretty clearly be able to summarize, like, oh, these are the things that I value. This is what I want my life to be about. And start writing that down. Might you suck at this the first time? Yes. Is that okay? Absolutely. Because nobody modeled this for you likely in your life ever. And nobody modeled it for me in my entire life. And then I read a ton of books written by some really cool guys and people that I really admired, and understand that, these guys had vision and they actually had a process, and they actually went through these things went through these steps to actually identify that and identify how they fit into that vision. And then they went and did it. And if I want to do anything greater with my life, heck, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just have to do what they did. Try to learn from other people's mistakes. It's way easier and less painful. So answer that question on this piece of paper. What do you want to accomplish, referencing all that material, with your life? So here's an example. This is not mine. This is somebody in the medical products and services industry, but he says, my mission is to provide services, products, and benefits with integrity and consistency to the sports community. I look for opportunities to help hurting individuals and assist other health professionals in a win-win manner. I never take advantage of anyone. I use my organizational and structuring abilities to provide income and pleasure to my family and blessings and hope to those around me. That guy's on a freaking mission. Can you believe? Can you like that guy? He's going somewhere. Like there's some energy in his house. The stuff that's happening around him, like there's stuff happening around him. He's probably making that industry better. He's utilizing his education, I guess. Maybe he's a doctor, or maybe he's a physical therapist, or pharmaceutical. I don't know what he is, but he's in the health industry, and he's doing that with his life. And this is why I use my operational and structured abilities to provide income and pleasure for my family. So it's like, you can imagine this guy taking a really nice vacation to the Bahamas or to Turkey or some exotic vacation, right? And you can see his family and all his children enjoying that. And you can see him and his wife at a really nice and beautiful sunset on a beach somewhere, right? And you can see that he's not only focused on himself, but he has a really good pulse on the world around him. He sees other people when they have needs, and he meets them. He blesses people around him with hope, and I bet you he gives a lot of money too, because he has a mission, and he's driven, and he knows exactly what he's after, and he's focused on that each and every day, and you can be too. All right, so example of a family mission statement. So guys, in the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about the types of mission statement. There's 3. But this one, so this is a family mission statement. So to live in a manner that glorifies and honors God, we build multi-generational enterprises. We teach our children to listen to God's word and their calling in their lives. Children are considered God's gift. The more, the better. We help others do good business in word and higher practice and to integrate their families into their businesses. Visionaries are vital. We encourage and we provide hope for them. Our goal in wealth building is to build it spiritually, numerically, property-wise, and financially. Our family teaches our children how to marry well. We aim to maintain and build grateful, joyful, loving, and respectful homes. Guys, that's the mission statement. That's the mission statement for my own family. That's my family's mission statement for our lives. That's what we do each and every day. I created that about 12 years ago when we were going through that really, really bad, when we had to redefine what the future would look like for our family and who it is that we actually are. If you have a family and you own a business, listen, very important. If you have a family and you own a business, you need 3 mission statements. What? I thought I only needed a 1 mission statement. I know, but this is like a bonus piece of information, because if you get here and you own a business, or you have a family, you need to know this, because it's not just about you at that stage. You have other people in your lives, and you're influencing them very powerfully. So you need to know this. You need to have your personal mission statement, what it is that you're about personally, what kind of person you want to be, and how you want that to manifest itself in your vision. So that's the thing that we worked on. And yes, I do. I actually have 3. They say you should only have 1, but what I've found out is you can break the rules, and 3 actually works better, because it helps you give a lot more focus and a lot more clarity on what it is that you're actually going to accomplish. So now you need a personal mission statement, you need a family mission statement, and you need a business mission statement. All right, all the mission statements, they interlock, they go together. You can't separate who you are from personally from the business or from your family. If you do, it will and should crumble, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. All right, the process for personal and family is exactly the same, but just in the context of the family. And you have to do it with your spouse. You have to sit down with your spouse, have a great conversation about what is it about a family that makes us who we are. What is it about our family that makes us tick? And what are all the elements of the family that we value? Answer those questions together with your spouse, and then you work through creating a mission statement for your family. And then if you have a team, or maybe you're not married and you actually have a business, so then you need two. I want to have for my personal one, and I have a business one. So then you actually go and make the same for your business. And to do that, we answer some other very important questions. All right, so for your business, you answer these questions. Make a first draft and reference the answers to these questions as you make that draft. What is the purpose of my business? Like, well, hey, my business is, we're we're in business to make money. Obviously, that's the only thing that we do business for. We want to eat so that we don't have to do this business thing anymore and then go home and forget about everything that we actually do in work so that we can have money to eat, right? Because life is not about business. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a completely different masterclass. If you hate your work and you don't care about it enough to sacrifice elements of your life to do your work, and it actually feels super, super sacrificial when you sacrifice elements of your life to do the work, then you probably shouldn't be doing that work. You probably should be doing something else. Do something that's tied to your vision for your life. I don't think anybody should long-term operate in a position that it's not tied to the mission and vision of their life. It has nothing to do. Like they're complete opposites. Yet I'm doing it anyways because I make money. That is the worst thing you could possibly do, because you are separating your mission from what you spend most of the time doing in your life. And anytime you do that, remember that there's a Bible verse that said, and even Abraham Lincoln said it, a house divided against itself cannot and should not stand. Okay, so don't be that human. So many people are living that exact reality. They work here, but their mission is over here. How do I connect the two? And there is a way, but that's not the purpose of this masterclass. The point of this masterclass is to get the mission statement written out. Don't live in objection to yourself. You will never get where you want to go. And if you never get where you want to go, what did you spend a lifetime doing? All right, we're not doing that because we're in this masterclass today and we're creating this future and it's going to be awesome. So what's the purpose of my business? Who are my clients? How do I differ from the competition? What makes me different? Is there a difference? And what are the core values of my company? Now take this information and write the answer to the question, write your mission statement. Sorry, write your mission statement for your company. Now, over the years, it will be refined. You'll start, it won't be the perfect version, and you'll refine the statement. But it's very important that you have this piece of clarity in place so that you can move to the next step. Now, we write down characteristics of your mission and vision. What the world is that? I ain't never heard of that. Okay, characteristics of the vision are simply statements. First, it's a list of characteristics that accurately describe to you what living out your mission/vision actually looks like. At the top of the page, you will have your mission statement. Under it, you can write as many bullet points as you need. And here's some examples. We build multi-generational enterprises. We train leaders. We are leaders. We drive big, strong vehicles. We maintain a deep, enduring value for the unity and strength of the family in Christ. We don't operate on any debt, ever, in anything that we do. Our family encourages visionaries. Like, that's examples of what your vision characteristics look like for your organization. I'm sorry, for your mission statement and your vision. Okay, so remember, you have the answers to the questions on a separate piece of paper we got from our last masterclass, and then we put our mission statement at the top, and now we've written down our vision characteristics about what the world it is that we're doing in our lives. Okay, what this vision, what a little bit more clarity. This is like slightly more clear, and we're pulling that out, and like these are the realities that I want to be true, that I think that should be true based on this mission statement. And go ahead and write yourself 10 or 15 or 20 if you have to. It doesn't really matter. It just has to be you and what your vision is in your life. It doesn't have to be some kind of perfect manifestation of some kind of aspiration. It's none of that. It's simply a true manifestation of what your mission statement, living itself out in real life, means to you. And that is anything and everything that it means that's you living your vision. Whatever that picture is, write down those characteristics. And why do we do that? Why do we need to write down any of these characteristics? It's because as we move into goals, you will easily see any time you are out of alignment. Alignment and clarity is the goal throughout all of this process, because most of the time people, they don't need to be, they're not super lazy, they're not super unwilling, they're not meaning people. They simply need to understand exactly what needs to happen for them to work towards their goal. And we're simply out of alignment, and we don't have a good clarity around what that is. And once we get crystal clear, then we can create this alignment that drives us forwards. All right, guys. As we work through this process, next week we're going to roll into making goals, hitting goals hard. That is the traction on the ground, getting moving, charging forwards section of vision. Now, I know this one was a little bit more theoretical today, and I know we had a little bit more room for theory and kind of introspective thinking, but it's very important to do the visioneering part and now the mission statement and vision characteristics part, so that we make sure that we're perfectly clear when we work through our goals. And if you have these elements in place, it creates a momentum and sucks you into that vision like you never believed. You're like, oh, those are the things I need to do to move things forward. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next masterclass. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss it, and you get the notification when we go live next week about hitting goals hard. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there, and talking about some of the things that I've been able to achieve in our lives that I never thought was possible, simply because we got alignment, we got clarity, we set our vision, we made it plain, and we had very clear characteristics about the vision and a mission statement that drove us forwards, that kept us going when times got really tough. And I guarantee you, they're going to get really tough. If you're not willing to do the sacrifice that it's going to require for you defining the values that you live for, then it's better that you don't define any of the values and just kind of keep living, wandering around the way you are, if that's you. But if you actually want to make a meaningful impact and a difference in life, then get clarity, be willing to sacrifice for the values that matter to you, and then drive forwards. And we'll learn more about exactly how to put boots on the ground and charge forwards in the next masterclass, where we hit goals hard. I look forward to seeing you there. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next masterclass.